Relax and fall asleep with facts about Bangkok that you probably didn't know. Part 2. Geography and climate. There is a particular quality to heat that is different from all other forms of discomfort. Cold can be retreated from. Rain can be sheltered against. Wind can be blocked by a wall, a coat, a turned shoulder. But heat, true, deep, ambient heat of the kind that does not merely touch the surface of the skin but seems to penetrate inward, warming the blood and the breath and the very air inside the lungs. Heat cannot be escaped in quite the same way. It is not directional. It does not come from one place and leave another place free. It is simply present everywhere at once, a condition of the world rather than a feature of it. Bangkok lives inside that heat. Not occasionally, not seasonally, in the way that a city in a more temperate climate might experience a few weeks of summer warmth before the cooler air returns. Bangkok lives inside intense, persistent, year-round heat as its permanent, defining condition. The heat is not an event in Bangkok. It is the background. It is the canvas on which everything else is painted. And tonight we are going to spend time with that heat, and with the geography and the climate that produce it, and with the way that Bangkok, its landscape, its seasons, its water and its green spaces and its extraordinary relationship with the sky has been shaped by and has shaped itself in response to the physical world it inhabits. This is a story about a city and the earth beneath it and the sky above it and the water all around it. About what it means to build a civilization in a place where the sun is always close and the ground is slowly moving and the rains, when they come with a power and a generosity that reshapes the world for months at a time. Let yourself sink a little deeper into wherever you are resting. The heat of Bangkok is far away tonight. You are cool and comfortable and entirely at rest. Let the story of the earth and the sky and the water come to you gently, like warmth from a very distant sun. Every year, various organizations and researchers and meteorological bodies around the world compile their data and attempt to answer the question of which city on Earth is the hottest. Not the hottest on a single record-breaking day, the kind of extreme heat event that makes headlines and then passes, but the hottest in the most sustained and meaningful sense. The hottest by average year-round temperature, the city where the thermometer, taken across all the days and all the seasons and all the hours of the year, registers higher than anywhere else on the inhabited surface of the planet. And the answer, according to the World Meteorological Organization, is Bangkok, the hottest city in the world. Not a desert city, baking in an arid landscape of sand and rock. Not a city famous for its extreme climate, warned about in guidebooks with the kind of urgent capitalization usually reserved for genuinely dangerous things. But Bangkok, tropical, river delta, monsoon season, canal-threaded Bangkok, with its rain and its green and its extraordinary lushness, the hottest city on Earth by the measure of sustained average temperature across the full year. The average temperature in Bangkok sits, across the full year, at around 28 degrees Celsius. But average temperatures are, like all averages, somewhat abstract. They tell you something true but not the full truth. The felt reality of Bangkok's heat is rather more intense than the average number suggests, because Bangkok's heat is not merely a matter of temperature but of humidity. The air in Bangkok, for much of the year, carries a very high moisture content, the moisture of the tropics, of a city surrounded by water and covered by sky that is frequently laden with cloud even when it is not actively raining. Humid heat is a different experience from dry heat. In dry heat, the body's natural cooling mechanism, the evaporation of sweat from the skin, works efficiently. In humid heat, that mechanism is compromised because the air is already so full of moisture that it cannot easily absorb any more. The sweat does not evaporate. It stays on the skin, and the body, unable to cool itself effectively, experiences the heat more acutely. This is the heat of Bangkok. Present, persistent, humid, enveloping. The heat that makes cold drinks not merely pleasant but necessary. That makes shade a genuine luxury. That makes the air-conditioned interior of a mall or a train feel, when you step into it, like a small physical salvation. That slows the pace of the city in the hottest hours of the afternoon, when the sensible response to the temperature is to find somewhere cool and wait quietly for the day to moderate. And yet Bangkok has been built and inhabited and loved and lived in under this heat for more than 2 centuries. Its people have organized their lives in relation to it. The early morning activities, the midday pause, the revival of energy in the cooler evening hours. The city is shaped by its heat in the same way that a desert city is shaped by the sand or a coastal city is shaped by the sea. The heat is not incidental to Bangkok. It is part of its identity. Beneath the city, something is happening that moves too slowly for any individual human being to feel or notice in the course of a normal life, but which is, when you step back and look at it from the longer perspective of geological time, quite remarkable. Bangkok is sinking. Not dramatically. Not in the sudden, catastrophic way of a collapsing building or a land that gives way beneath the feet. Slowly, measurably, consistently, at a rate of approximately 2 to 3 centimeters per year, the city of Bangkok is subsiding, the ground beneath it compressing and settling under the enormous weight of the urban development that has been built upon it over the decades, combined with the extraction of groundwater from the aquifers below that has removed the underground support that once helped keep the ground at its current level. 2 to 3 centimeters per year. It sounds almost trivial, a distance too small to see, too gradual to feel. But compound that rate over the decades since Bangkok began its rapid expansion, and the cumulative effect becomes significant. Certain parts of the city have sunk by more than a meter since the mid-20th century. And when you factor in the city's already very low elevation, the fact that Bangkok sits, on average, only about 1.5 meters above sea level, the implications of continued subsidence become rather more than merely interesting. 1.5 meters above sea level. Standing in many parts of Bangkok, you are closer to sea level than the height of a tall person. You are, in a very real and geographical sense, nearly at the water's edge, not the edge of the river, which you can see and feel and navigate, but the edge of the ocean itself, which is not far away and which the river connects you to, and which would not need to rise very much before the relationship between Bangkok and the water that surrounds and underlies it changed in ways that the city would find very difficult to manage. This is not a new concern. Bangkok has always had a complicated relationship with water. A city built on a delta, threaded with canals, subject to seasonal flooding as a simple fact of geography. The klongs were partly about celebration of the water and partly about management of it, a way of channeling and directing the water that came reliably and powerfully every rainy season, giving it somewhere to go that was less disruptive than simply letting it take whatever space it chose. The management of water has been one of Bangkok's primary engineering and civic challenges since its founding, and it remains so today, in new and more complex forms. The sinking city is something that Bangkok's planners and engineers and civic authorities think about seriously. The solutions are complex and not fully agreed upon, restrictions on groundwater extraction, new approaches to flood management, construction techniques designed to reduce the load on the ground. The conversation is ongoing, and it is important, because the city that King Rama I built on the banks of the Chao Phraya in 1782, the City of Angels, the most sacred and the most beloved city in Thailand, this city is, very slowly and very quietly, in conversation with the earth beneath it about the terms of its continued existence. The seasons. If you ask a Thai person how many seasons Bangkok has, they will tell you 3. And if you press for the names of those 3 seasons, the answer that comes back, delivered often with a slight smile, with the particular warmth of someone sharing a joke that is also entirely true, is this: hotter and wet. It is a description that is funny in the way that only genuinely accurate things can be funny. Because Bangkok does, in a real sense, experience those 3 states across the course of a year, in roughly that order, and the names are not much of an exaggeration. The cool season, the period from roughly November to February when temperatures drop to what might elsewhere be described as warm, hovering in the mid to high 20s, with lower humidity than the rest of the year and occasional evenings cool enough to make a light covering desirable, is considered the most pleasant time of year in Bangkok. It is when the city feels most gentle, most habitable, most comfortable to move through on foot without the full weight of the heat pressing down on every step. It is also, not coincidentally, when Bangkok receives the largest number of international visitors. The hot season follows, running roughly from March through June, when temperatures climb toward and sometimes above 40 degrees Celsius. The humidity rises again, and the city enters the period of most intense heat that it experiences annually. April sits at the peak of this season, the hottest month of the year, the month when the air seems to shimmer visibly above the pavement and the midday streets empty of pedestrians who have retreated to wherever cool air can be found. And then the wet season arrives, July through October, the months of the southwest monsoon, when the rain comes in quantities that transform the experience of the city. Not constant rain, necessarily. The monsoon does not produce an uninterrupted gray drizzle of the sort familiar to residents of Northern Europe. It produces, more typically, intense downpours of short to medium duration, often in the afternoon or evening, when the accumulated heat and moisture of the day condenses and falls with sudden, dramatic force. Rain that turns streets into streams within minutes. Rain that fills the sky from horizon to horizon with the dark, bruised color of an approaching storm. Rain that, when it arrives, is so loud and so total that conversation becomes difficult and the world outside the shelter you have found is temporarily replaced by a solid, silver wall of falling water. And then it stops, often as suddenly as it began. And the air is briefly, blissfully cooler, and the streets are reflecting the returning sky, and the world smells of wet earth and rain-washed concrete and something almost oceanic, and Bangkok exhales. Into the absolute peak of the hot season, in April, when the heat is at its most formidable, when the thermometer is doing things that suggest the city has perhaps gone slightly too far in its commitment to warmth, Bangkok does something remarkable. It has a water fight. Not a small, neighborly water fight. Not a brief and contained affair of water pistols and garden hoses confined to a single street or a single afternoon. A citywide, days-long, absolutely joyful, entirely consensual mass water fight involving millions of people, enormous quantities of water, every available container and hose and pump and bucket the population of Bangkok can lay its hands on, and a collective decision to respond to the most extreme heat of the year not with complaint or resignation but with celebration, with laughter. with the simple and entirely effective solution of getting very, very wet. This is Songkran, the Thai New Year, celebrated in April when the traditional Thai solar calendar marks the beginning of a new year, and when the combination of cultural celebration and practical necessity, the need to cool down in the most direct way possible, has produced one of the most distinctive and most beloved festivals in all of Southeast Asia. The origins of Songkran are ancient and deeply meaningful. It is a time of religious observance, of visits to temples, of offerings and prayers, of the pouring of scented water over the hands of elders and revered figures as a gesture of respect and blessing. The water carries wishes for good fortune in the new year. It carries the hope of washing away the difficulties of the year that has passed and beginning fresh, clean, renewed. Water in this context is sacred. It is purification. It is blessing. It is the physical expression of a spiritual intention. And then, alongside all of that ancient and beautiful ceremony, there is the street-level reality of Songkran in Bangkok in the 21st century, which is this: everyone is armed with water, and everyone is a target, and this is not merely permitted but enthusiastically encouraged. And if you step outside during the days of Songkran without resigning yourself entirely to the certainty of becoming completely soaked within the first 5 minutes, you have profoundly misunderstood the situation. Pickup trucks cruise through the streets with their beds full of people and large containers of water, dousing pedestrians as they pass. Pedestrians line the pavements with their own buckets and hoses, retaliating with equal enthusiasm. Water stations are set up along major streets where anyone can stop to refill whatever vessel they are carrying. Children shriek with the particular delight of children given official permission to do the thing they most want to do. Adults who have perhaps forgotten how to be entirely unself-conscious in their joy find, under the benevolent license of Songkran, that the forgetting is very temporary. And throughout all of it, the water is cool. Blissfully, gloriously, perfectly cool. In the hottest city in the world, in the hottest month of the year, the people of Bangkok have found the most direct and the most joyful possible solution to the most defining feature of their physical environment. They do not hide from the heat. They celebrate in the face of it, with laughter and water and the shared, uncomplicated pleasure of being soaked to the skin in a crowd of equally soaked strangers who are all, for this particular moment, equally happy. Within the noise and the density and the heat of the city, there is a green place. A place where the trees are old enough to provide real shade, where the grass invites sitting, where the paths are wide and the pace is slow and the sounds of the surrounding city diminish, not entirely but enough, into something more like a background than a foreground. Lumpini Park, Bangkok's great urban park, the central park of the City of Angels. It sits in the middle of the city's commercial heart, surrounded by some of Bangkok's most significant roads and most impressive buildings, a rectangle of green in the grid of gray and glass and concrete, covering about 142 acres. In the early morning, before the heat of the day has gathered its full weight, Lumpini is one of the most beautiful places in Bangkok. The light comes through the trees at a low angle, soft and golden, dappling the paths. The lake at the center of the park reflects the sky. People are exercising, jogging, practicing Tai Chi in slow and meditative sequences, doing aerobics in cheerful, loosely organized groups. There are paddle boats on the lake. There are old men playing chess. There are families with small children navigating the paths at the exploratory, unhurrying pace of the very young. And then there are the monitor lizards. Lumpini Park is home to a population of water monitor lizards, varanid lizards, relatives of the Komodo dragon, that have made the park their territory and that move through it with a confidence and a complete absence of concern for the human beings sharing the space that speaks to a very settled sense of ownership. These are not small creatures. The monitor lizards of Lumpini can grow to approximately 3 meters in length, making them among the largest lizards found in any urban park anywhere in the world. 3 meters. The length of a small car. A living creature of that size, moving through the grass and the undergrowth of a city park, climbing the trees with the unhurried ease of an animal that has been climbing trees for tens of millions of evolutionary years, sliding into the lake with a minimal displacement of water and a maximum dignity of bearing. It is genuinely startling if you are not expecting it. And then, once the startlement has passed, it becomes something else. Something closer to wonder. The monitors are entirely at home in the park. They have been here longer than the park's current form. They were in the water and the trees of this delta long before Bangkok was built around them, and they have simply remained, adapting to the presence of the city with the reptilian equanimity of creatures whose evolutionary lineage is so long and so successful that the 12,000 years of human civilization represents, in their experience of geological time, a very recent and not particularly troubling development. They lie in the sun on the paths and the banks of the lake with the complete physical relaxation of animals that have no particular anxiety about their place in the world. They regard the passing humans with eyes that are very old and very calm and entirely unimpressed. They are, in their own way, a reminder, a large, scaly, magnificently ancient reminder, that Bangkok sits within a natural world that preceded it and that has not entirely yielded its claim on the space the city has occupied. Across the river from the main body of Bangkok, at a bend in the Chao Phraya where the water curves and encloses a loop of land that the city has not been able to reach in quite the same way it has reached everywhere else, there is a place that is unlike anything else in Bangkok. A place that is, in the most technical sense, within the city limits, and yet feels, the moment you step into it, like something entirely other. Bang Krachao, the green lung of Bangkok, an island in the river, or rather, a peninsula created by one of the Chao Phraya's great curves, nearly enclosed by the water, connected to the mainland only by a narrow neck that has limited development and preserved, within the curve of the river, a remarkable remnant of what the landscape of this delta region looked like before Bangkok was built. Bang Krachao is not a managed park. It is not a nature reserve in the conventional sense, with visitor centers and boardwalks and information displays. It is a living, inhabited, agricultural space. People live there, grow things there, have lives and businesses there, but the combination of its river island geography and the particular care with which it has been treated has preserved within it a density of greenery that is, from the air, quite extraordinary to see against the gray and brown sprawl of the city that surrounds it on every side. To get to Bang Krachao, you take a ferry across the river. A short crossing, just minutes long, but one that feels, somehow, like a much greater transition than the distance would suggest. The noise of the city diminishes. The smell of the water is clean and cool. And when you step off the ferry on the other side, you step into a world of greens so dense and so complete that it is difficult to believe you are still within the boundaries of one of Southeast Asia's great megacities. The paths of Bangkok wind through orchards and gardens and patches of genuine jungle where the trees are old and tall and their canopies join above the path to create a green tunnel through which the light filters in shifting, dappled patterns. The air is different here, cooler than the city across the water, visibly cleaner, carrying the smell of growing things and wet earth and the water that permeates the landscape. There are small canals threading through the island that you can explore by kayak or by bicycle at whatever pace the day invites. Bangkok is sometimes described as Bangkok's lungs, the green space that breathes for the city, absorbing its carbon and exhaling its oxygen, performing the photosynthetic labor that the concrete and glass of the city around it cannot do. It is an image that is both scientifically accurate and somehow poetic, the idea of a great, green, breathing organ embedded within the body of the city, keeping it alive, keeping it clean, maintaining within its heart a space of genuine wildness that the city cannot entirely assimilate. And the city itself, the built city, the city of towers and roads and commerce and the constant human industry of 11 million lives, is not entirely without its own response to the heat and the need for green. A newer and more deliberate response, growing out of the awareness that a city which is both the hottest in the world and one that is slowly subsiding must find new ways of relating to the natural world if it is going to remain livable for the generations that come after us. In the newer districts of Bangkok, among the glass towers that have risen in the past 2 decades as the city has rebuilt itself for the 21st century, there are buildings that are doing something different. Buildings that have incorporated into their very structure the principle that a building can be more than a sealed box of glass and steel. That architecture can reach outward, can embrace the natural world rather than excluding it, can become part of a living system rather than a closed one. The vertical gardens of Bangkok's newer skyscrapers, the living walls and the planted terraces and the elevated green spaces that have been integrated into the architecture of the buildings themselves, are more than aesthetic statements, though they are that too. They are functional responses to the specific environmental challenges of this specific city. Plants absorb heat. Living walls reduce the temperature of the building surfaces they cover, reducing the urban heat island effect that makes dense cities even hotter than their surrounding countryside. They absorb carbon dioxide and produce oxygen. They manage rainfall by absorbing water that would otherwise run off immediately into the drainage system. They create habitat for insects and birds in the middle of the urban environment. And they are beautiful. The sight of a 40-story building whose exterior terraces are cascading with greenery, ferns and climbing plants and small trees spilling over the edges of the floors, the whole vertical surface softened and animated by living things, is something that the purely glass and steel towers of an earlier generation of urban architecture simply could not offer. It is a vision of what cities might become when they stop treating the natural world as something separate from themselves, something that belongs out there in the parks and the countryside, and start understanding that the city and the living world it exists within can find ways to coexist within the same walls, on the same floors, at the same heights. Bangkok, the hottest city in the world, is growing its own shade. Building by building, terrace by terrace, plant by plant, it is reaching for green in the only direction left to it, upward. And so we have drifted together tonight through the geography and the climate of this extraordinary place. Through the heat, the world's most sustained, most consistent, most enveloping urban heat, and the particular humid quality of it that makes it felt so completely in every part of the body. Through the sinking earth beneath the city, that slow, patient, geological movement downward at 2 to 3 centimeters per year, the ground settling under the weight of everything that has been built upon it. Through the 1.5 meters above sea level that separates Bangkok from the ocean, that narrow margin between the city and the water that surrounds it. Through the 3 seasons, hot, hotter, and wet, and the particular character of each. Through the monsoon rains that fall with such sudden, dramatic force in the afternoons of July and August and September, filling the streets and the klongs and washing the dust of the hot season from the face of the city. Through Songkran and the magnificent, joyful, entirely logical response to April's ferocious heat, the city-wide water fight that is also a blessing, a purification, a celebration, a shared acknowledgement that the best response to an overwhelming force of nature is sometimes not to resist it but to meet it with laughter and a very large bucket of water. Through Lumpini Park in the early morning light, the golden dappling of the trees, the calm lake, the exercising bodies, and the ancient, magnificent, entirely unimpressed monitor lizards moving through the grass and the water with the easy authority of creatures who have been here much longer than the city around them. Through Bangkok and its extraordinary green, the river island that breathes for the city, the lung of living things embedded in the body of Bangkok like a gift. And through the vertical gardens of the new towers, the buildings growing their own shade, the city reaching upward toward green in the only direction still available. This is Bangkok's relationship with its physical world. Complex and challenging and sometimes precarious and deeply, deeply alive. A city that sits at the intersection of the human and the natural, the ancient and the evolving, the stone that is sinking and the green that is rising, the heat that defines everything and the water that, in every form, river, canal, rain, Songkran bucket, provides the answer. Let all of it soften now. The heat is far away. The monitor lizard is asleep in the warm grass. The rain of the monsoon has passed and the streets are reflecting the stars. The trees of Bangkok are breathing slowly in the dark, breathing for the city, breathing for all of us. And you are breathing slowly too. Your body is still and your mind is quiet, and the great, warm, living, sinking, growing, breathing city of Bangkok is very far away and very close simultaneously, the way that the best dreams feel, present but not pressing, vivid but not demanding, there and not there. Go deeper. The earth is holding you. The night is long. The heat of the world is very gentle now. History and royalty. There is a particular quality to a place that has been the seat of power for a very long time. It is not merely the age of the buildings, though the age is part of it. It is not merely the grandeur of the architecture, though the grandeur is there too. It is something less tangible and more pervasive. A quality of weight that the place carries, a sense that within these walls decisions were made that changed lives and altered the course of events, that the ordinary human emotions of ambition and love and grief and loyalty and betrayal played themselves out here at the very highest level, with consequences that rippled outward through generations. A sense that the walls remember, even if the people have forgotten. Bangkok carries that quality. It carries it in its palaces and its monuments, in the laws that protect its royal family, in the face on its currency, and the anthem played in its cinemas. It carries it in the stories of the people who have shaped it, the kings and the revolutionaries and the silk merchants and the soldiers and the quiet, ordinary citizens who went about their lives in the shadow of great events and left, in the fabric of the city, traces of who they were and what they cared about. Tonight we are going to spend time with that history, with the great palace beside the river and the laws that protect the royal dignity and the name that a country chose for itself in a moment of national reinvention, with the mysteries and the monuments and the men whose lives became, in ways they could not have predicted, permanently woven into the story of this city. There is no hurry. History does not hurry. It has already happened, and it will wait for us. Let your body settle a little deeper into its rest, let your breathing slow, and let the long story of Bangkok's past drift toward you at its own unhurrying pace. On the eastern bank of the Chao Phraya River, within a walled compound that covers an area of more than 200,000 square meters, an area larger than many small towns, there stands a collection of buildings that represents, perhaps more completely than any other single site in Thailand, the full weight and the full splendor of the Thai royal tradition. The Grand Palace. It was built by King Rama I at the founding of Bangkok in 1782, and it served as the official residence of the kings of Siam for 150 years, from that founding moment through the reigns of 9 successive Chakri kings, across a century and a half of Thai history that encompassed some of the most dramatic and consequential events that the country and the region have ever experienced. For 150 years, the decisions that shaped the destiny of a nation were made within these walls. The ceremonies that marked the great turning points of Thai royal and national life, coronations, state funerals, diplomatic receptions, religious observances of the highest order, were conducted here, in these courtyards and these throne halls, beneath these layered, jeweled, gilded roofs. The architecture of the Grand Palace is, to the eye that encounters it for the first time, almost overwhelmingly rich. The buildings are not uniform in style. They were constructed and modified and added to over many decades and many reigns, and they reflect in their variety the different tastes and different historical moments of the kings who built them. Some structures are entirely in the traditional Thai style, the steeply pitched roofs in their multiple layers, the ceramic tile in deep orange and green, the gilded finials rising to points above the roofline, the exterior surfaces encrusted with colored glass and gold mosaic in intricate patterns. Others incorporate European architectural elements, reflecting the period in the 19th century when the Chakri kings were actively modernizing Thailand and engaging deeply with Western culture and technology, walking the delicate diplomatic tightrope between westernization and the preservation of Thai identity that defined so much of that era. Within the compound, the most sacred space is Wat Phra Kaew, the Temple of the Emerald Buddha, which we visited in an earlier segment of our journey, but the palace buildings themselves are extraordinary in their own right. The Chakri Maha Prasat Throne Hall, built in the reign of King Rama V, presents one of the most striking examples of the architectural synthesis of that period. A building that is European in its lower floors, with the columns and symmetry and formality of the Italian Renaissance, and entirely Thai in its upper stories, where traditional tiered roofs rise above the classical facade in a combination that could only have been produced in this particular place at this particular moment in history. The Grand Palace is no longer the primary residence of the Thai royal family, who moved to other palaces in the 20th century. but it remains the ceremonial heart of the monarchy, the place where the most important state ceremonies continue to be held, where royal funerals of the greatest significance have taken place, where the connection between the Thai state and the institution that has been its symbolic center since 1782 is most fully and most visibly expressed. To stand in the outer courtyard of the Grand Palace and look at the buildings around you is to stand inside 150 years of Thai royal history, to feel it pressing gently and magnificently on every side. The reverence that Thai culture extends to its royal family is not merely conventional, not merely the habit of a society that has not yet modernized its relationship with its historical institutions. It is deep, genuine, and actively protected by law. In Thailand, the law of lèse-majesté makes it a criminal offense to insult, defame, or threaten the king, the queen, the heir apparent, or the regent. The law has been part of the Thai legal framework for many decades, and it is taken very seriously, not merely as a formal legal provision but as an expression of a widely held social value. The protection of the royal family's dignity is understood, in Thai culture, as the protection of something that goes beyond the individuals themselves, the protection of an institution that represents the continuity and the identity of the Thai nation, the thread that connects the present to the long history of a people and a culture. The law applies to everyone within Thai territory, Thai citizens and foreign visitors alike. This means that words spoken or written or otherwise expressed within Thailand that could be construed as insulting to the royal family carry legal consequences. The consequences are serious. People have been prosecuted and imprisoned under lèse-majesté. It is not a theoretical provision. It is an actively enforced law. For the visitor from a culture where criticism of public figures, including heads of state, including royalty, is considered a fundamental right of free expression, the lèse-majesté law can be one of the more conceptually challenging aspects of Thai social and legal culture to fully absorb. It represents a different understanding of the relationship between the individual, the state, and the institutions that bind a society together. An understanding in which the protection of certain sacred things from desecration is understood as a social good that outweighs the individual's right to say whatever they wish. Whether one agrees with that understanding or not, it is worth approaching it with the respect due to any deeply held cultural value. Thai reverence for the monarchy is not performance. It is not compliance with an external rule that people would abandon if they could. For the great majority of Thai people, it is genuine, the expression of a real and living love for an institution that they feel a real and living connection to. The depth of that reverence extends into the most mundane moments of daily life. It reaches into the pocket, into the wallet, into the small, everyday transaction of buying a cup of coffee or paying a taxi fare. The currency of Thailand, the baht, carries on every note and every coin the face of the king. And because the king's face is on the currency itself partakes of something of the sacred status of the person it depicts. To treat it carelessly, dismissively, with contempt, and in particular, to step on it, is considered deeply offensive. More than offensive, it is a crime. Stepping on a Thai baht coin or note, the kind of casual, unthinking thing one might do if a coin rolled away across the floor, automatically putting a foot out to stop it, is, in Thailand, technically an act of criminal lèse-majesté. Because to place your foot on the face of the king is to express, through that most basic and bodily of gestures, a contempt that the law does not permit. For the visitor who drops a coin and instinctively moves to stop it with a foot, the correct response, upon realizing where they are, is to pick it up with the hand instead. It is a small adjustment of habit, easy enough once you are aware of it, but one that opens a window onto something larger, the way that a deeply held cultural value, when it is genuinely felt rather than merely performed, permeates even the most ordinary moments of daily life. The sacred is not confined, in Thai culture, to the temple. It moves through the market and the street and the taxi and the wallet, present in every baht coin that passes from hand to hand. The history of the 20th century in Bangkok is not only the history of royal ceremonies and cultural continuity. It is also the history of a city and a country navigating the most turbulent and the most violent century that the modern world has yet produced. A century of world wars and revolutions and the violent redrawing of maps and the collapse of empires and the emergence of new ones. A century in which even a city as ancient and as distinct as Bangkok could not remain untouched by the forces reshaping the world around it. During the Second World War, Bangkok was occupied by Japanese forces. In December 1941, the same days in which Japan attacked Pearl Harbor in Hawaii and launched its assault on British Malaya and Hong Kong, Japanese troops entered Thailand. The Thai government, facing an overwhelming military force and making the calculation that resistance would be futile and catastrophic, signed an armistice with Japan and allowed Japanese forces to use Thai territory as a staging ground for their campaigns elsewhere in Southeast Asia. Bangkok became, for the duration of the war, a city under Japanese military occupation, its streets and its infrastructure in the service of a foreign military power, its people living under the particular pressures and the particular indignities that occupation invariably produces. The experience of the occupation was complex and was understood differently by different segments of Thai society. The Thai government maintained a degree of official sovereignty throughout. Thailand was not a conquered territory in the same sense as, say, the Dutch East Indies or the Philippines, but the practical reality of Japanese military presence was felt throughout the city. Meanwhile, a resistance movement known as the Sari Thai, the Free Thai movement, operated clandestinely throughout the war years, maintaining connections with the Allied powers and working toward the liberation of the country. When Japan surrendered in August 1945 and the occupation ended, Thailand managed, through a combination of the resistance movement's activities and careful diplomacy, to avoid being classified as an enemy nation by the Allied powers. It was a remarkable piece of navigation through extraordinarily difficult circumstances, and it speaks to the same quality of diplomatic intelligence and careful pragmatism that had allowed the Chukri kings to keep Thailand independent throughout the colonial period. The capacity to find the path through that preserved what was essential, even when the choices were painful and the options were narrow. 6 years before the Japanese occupation, Thailand had done something else that speaks equally to this quality of deliberate self-reinvention, of choosing the terms of one's own identity rather than having them imposed from outside. In 1939, the country changed its name. From Siam, the name by which the kingdom had been known for centuries, the name that appears in historical documents and on old maps and in the literature and the correspondence of every foreign power that had ever had dealings with the country, to Thailand. A new name for a new era. A name that contains, within its 2 syllables, the word Thai, which means free, and which therefore declares, in the very name of the country, the fundamental nature of its people. Thailand, the land of the free. The name change was part of a broader program of national modernization and redefinition undertaken by the government of Prime Minister Plake Phibunsongkhram, the same government that, as we noted when we discussed Pad Thai, was actively engaged in the construction of a modern Thai national identity. The move from Siam to Thailand was a statement of intent, a declaration that the country was not merely an ancient kingdom with a traditional name, but a modern nation-state with a clear sense of its own identity and its own place in the community of nations. Siam did not entirely disappear from use. It remains the name by which the country is referred to in historical contexts, and it lives on in the names of places and institutions and the Siamese cat and all the other places where the old name has been preserved in language and in culture. But Thailand, the land of the free, became the official name of the country on the maps of the world, and it remains so today. A name chosen, not inherited. A name that means something. A name that makes, in 2 syllables, a claim about who the people of this country are and who they intend to remain. In the mid-20th century, a man arrived in Bangkok whose story has become one of the most compelling and most mysterious chapters in the city's modern history. He was not a king or a general or a diplomat, though he had connections to all of those worlds. He was an American, a Yale-educated, wartime intelligence officer turned entrepreneur, whose particular genius lay in seeing beauty where others saw only the ordinary and possibility where others saw only the familiar. His name was Jim Thompson. Jim Thompson first came to Thailand near the end of the Second World War as part of the Office of Strategic Services, the forerunner of the CIA, and he fell in love with the country with the completeness that certain people fall in love with certain places, a love that does not diminish with familiarity but deepens with it. After the war ended, while most of his colleagues returned to their previous lives in America, Jim Thompson chose to remain in Bangkok. He became fascinated by Thai silk, the ancient, exquisitely crafted, extraordinarily beautiful textile that had been produced in Thailand for centuries but which, by the mid-20th century, had fallen into a state of significant decline. The traditional silk weavers, many of them in the Ban Krua neighborhood just across the canal from where Thompson would eventually build his home, were still working, but their market had shrunk and their craft was struggling for survival in a world that had moved rapidly toward industrially produced fabrics. Jim Thompson saw what the silk weavers of Thailand were producing and understood it immediately and completely. He understood that this was not merely a local craft of modest commercial interest but something of world-class quality. A textile whose colors were more vivid, whose patterns were more intricate, whose feel against the skin was more extraordinary than almost anything being produced anywhere else in the world. He began buying the silk, promoting it, finding it markets in America and Europe, connecting the weavers of Bangkok with the designers and the fashion houses of the Western world that had no idea such a material existed. The impact was transformative. Thai silk, largely through Jim Thompson's efforts and his extraordinary promotional genius, became a globally recognized and globally desired luxury material. The silk industry in Thailand was revived and expanded. The weavers of Ban Krua and their counterparts across the country had markets for their work that they had never had before. A tradition that had been in danger of fading was instead renewed and celebrated and given a future. Jim Thompson became one of the most famous foreigners in Thailand. He built a home in Bangkok, a compound of traditional Thai houses that he assembled and connected with great care and great love, and he filled it with the Thai art and the antiques and the textiles that he collected with the passion of a man who has found, in a culture not his own, a home for his deepest aesthetic sensibilities. And then, in 1967, on a visit to the Cameron Highlands in Malaysia, Jim Thompson went for an afternoon walk and was never seen again. He simply vanished. Without a trace, without an explanation, without any evidence that has ever been found of what happened to him on that afternoon in the Malaysian hills. No body, no witness, no note, nothing. One of the most famous and most recognizable foreigners in Southeast Asia, a man with deep connections to the intelligence community, a man at the center of an international business empire, walked into the jungle and was gone. The mystery of Jim Thompson's disappearance has never been solved. Theories have multiplied over the decades: accident, deliberate disappearance, foul play of various kinds, involvement of various parties. None has ever been definitively confirmed. Jim Thompson remains missing. His disappearance remains one of the great unsolved mysteries of the 20th century, a story that has fascinated and puzzled people for more than 50 years. What remains of Jim Thompson in Bangkok is his house. Or rather, his houses, the compound of 6 traditional Thai structures that he assembled on the edge of the canal in the heart of Bangkok, and which now stands as one of the most beautiful and most visited museums in the city. The Jim Thompson House is, to architectural historians and to anyone who loves beauty, a remarkable achievement. Traditional Thai houses are built on stilts, with steeply pitched roofs and walls of elaborately carved teak, their interiors cool and dim and organized around the particular rhythms of Thai domestic life. Jim Thompson found these structures in various states of decay and disuse around Bangkok and had them disassembled and transported to his canal-side plot, where they were reassembled and connected to create a compound of rooms and terraces and gardens that is both deeply Thai in its materials and its proportions and entirely personal in its arrangement and its contents. The contents are extraordinary. Jim Thompson was a collector of the first order, of Thai and Burmese and Chinese antiques, of paintings and ceramics and textiles and sculpture, assembled over decades with a connoisseur's eye and an enthusiast's passion. Every room of the Jim Thompson house contains beautiful things, arranged with care, lit by the diffused light that filters through the traditional Thai shuttered windows onto surfaces of carved teak and silk and old lacquerware. It is a house that feels lived in, not a sterile museum but a home, a reflection of a particular person's taste and passion, preserved almost as he left it. To walk through the Jim Thompson house is to be in the presence of 2 things simultaneously: the extraordinary beauty of the Thai aesthetic tradition, and the mystery of the man who loved it so completely and who vanished so entirely. The house is full of him, and he is nowhere to be found. The rooms wait, beautiful and still, for someone who is not coming back. On a broad boulevard in the old part of Bangkok, in the neighborhood that was historically the political heart of the city, there stands a monument that is unlike the temples and the palaces that dominate so much of Bangkok's architectural landscape. It does not reach for the sky in the way of a temple spire. It does not gleam with gold or encrusted glass. It is, by comparison, austere, a circular base supporting a central tower, surrounded by sculpted wings, the whole composition balanced and deliberate and possessed of the particular seriousness of a monument that is marking not a religious moment but a political one. This is the Democracy Monument, and the event it commemorates is one of the most significant turning points in Thai political history. In 1932, a group of Western-educated Thai military officers and civil servants, many of them having studied in France and absorbed there the ideas of democratic governance and constitutional limitation of power that had been reshaping European political life since the 18th century, executed a revolution that brought to an end the absolute monarchy that had governed Siam for centuries. The revolution was largely bloodless. King Rama VII, who was on the throne at the time, agreed to a transition to constitutional monarchy, surrendering the absolute power that the Thai kings had held since the founding of the kingdom in exchange for a continued but constitutionally defined role as the symbolic and ceremonial head of state. It was, by any measure, a momentous event. Centuries of absolute royal power ended in a single day by a small group of men who had read the right books and understood the direction in which the world was moving and decided that Thailand needed to move in that direction too. The absolute monarchy did not go easily or entirely. The decades that followed were complicated, and the relationship between democratic institutions and military power in Thailand has continued to be negotiated ever since. But the moment of 1932 remains the founding moment of modern Thai constitutional governance. The Democracy Monument was built in 1939 to commemorate that moment. It sits at the center of the Ratchadamnoan Avenue, the broad, tree-lined boulevard that was deliberately designed in the late 19th century to recall the great ceremonial avenues of European capitals. And it has since become not just a monument to the 1932 revolution but a focal point for Thai political expression more broadly. It is where demonstrations gather, where the Thai public has repeatedly returned to assert its political voice across the decades since the monument was built. A monument to democracy that has served repeatedly as the stage for the ongoing, unfinished, deeply human work of actually achieving and maintaining democracy. Not far away, at a major intersection that is one of the busiest transit hubs in Bangkok, there stands another monument. Different in form and different in the event it commemorates, but equally woven into the fabric of Bangkok's historical identity. The Victory Monument. It was built in 1941 to commemorate a brief but significant conflict known as the Franco-Thai War, a short military confrontation between Thailand and French Indochina in 1940 and 1941, during which Thailand sought to reclaim territories on the eastern bank of the Mekong River that it had been forced to cede to France in the late 19th century. The war ended after French colonial authorities requested Japanese mediation, with Thailand regaining some of the disputed territories, a result that was celebrated in Thailand as a military and diplomatic victory, and that the Victory Monument was built to honor. The monument itself is a tall, tapering obelisk, surrounded by bronze figures representing the branches of the Thai military, rising above the circular intersection around which the traffic of a major Bangkok junction flows continuously. It is, from most angles, a handsome piece of civic sculpture, serious without being solemn, commemorative without being heavy. It gives the intersection a center, a point of orientation, a reason to be somewhere other than merely a place where roads cross. Today, the Victory Monument is perhaps best known to most Bangkok residents not as a historical monument but as a transit hub. The BTS Skytran station at Victory Monument is one of the busiest on the network, and the area around the monument is a major gathering point for minivans and buses heading to destinations across the city and beyond. The history and the practicality coexist, as they do so often in Bangkok, without apparent tension. The bronze soldiers standing at the base of their obelisk while the commuters of the 21st century flow around them in their hundreds of thousands, both the memory and the present moment occupying the same space, layered one upon the other, as all of Bangkok's history is layered. And finally, woven through all of this history and all of these monuments and all of these stories of kings and revolutionaries and mysterious disappearances and national reinventions, there is a day. A specific day in the calendar that gathers all of the feeling that Thai people have for their monarchy into a single annual moment of shared acknowledgement and celebration. December the 5th, the birthday of His Majesty King Bhumibol Adulyadej, King Rama IX, who reigned from 1946 until his death in 2016, making his the longest reign of any monarch in Thai history and one of the longest of any monarch in the history of the world. 70 years on the throne. 70 years during which Thailand transformed itself from a predominantly agricultural country into one of the more dynamic economies in Southeast Asia, during which Bangkok grew from a city of manageable scale into a megacity of 11 million people, during which the world changed beyond recognition around a figure who remained, for the Thai people, a constant. A presence of quiet dignity and personal integrity that was, in the turbulent and uncertain decades of the 20th century, anchor. King Bhumibol was deeply loved. Not in the performative way that public figures are sometimes loved at a distance, but with a personal quality of affection and loyalty that extended across generations and social classes and regions of the country. He traveled throughout Thailand over his long reign, visiting even the most remote and impoverished communities, working on development projects, engaging with the realities of Thai life in ways that went far beyond the ceremonial demands of his position. He was a jazz musician, a painter, a sailor, a photographer, a man of genuine personal culture and genuine personal curiosity who brought to the throne not just the weight of tradition but the warmth of a real human being. It was, by any measure, a momentous event. Centuries of absolute royal power ended in a single day by a small group of men who had read the right books and understood the direction in which the world was moving and decided that Thailand needed to move in that direction too. The absolute monarchy did not go easily or entirely. The decades that followed were complicated, and the relationship between democratic institutions and military power in Thailand has continued to be negotiated ever since. But the moment of 1932 remains the founding moment of modern Thai constitutional governance. The Democracy Monument was built in 1939 to commemorate that moment. It sits at the center of the Ratchadamnoan Avenue, the broad, tree-lined boulevard that was deliberately designed in the late 19th century to recall the great ceremonial avenues of European capitals. And it has since become not just a monument to the 1932 revolution but a focal point for Thai political expression more broadly. It is where demonstrations gather, where the Thai public has repeatedly returned to assert its political voice across the decades since the monument was built. A monument to democracy that has served repeatedly as the stage for the ongoing, unfinished, deeply human work of actually achieving and maintaining democracy. Not far away, at a major intersection that is one of the busiest transit hubs in Bangkok, there stands another monument. Different in form and different in the event it commemorates, but equally woven into the fabric of Bangkok's historical identity. The Victory Monument. It was built in 1941 to commemorate a brief but significant conflict known as the Franco-Thai War, a short military confrontation between Thailand and French Indochina in 1940 and 1941, during which Thailand sought to reclaim territories on the eastern bank of the Mekong River that it had been forced to cede to France in the late 19th century. The war ended after French colonial authorities requested Japanese mediation, with Thailand regaining some of the disputed territories, a result that was celebrated in Thailand as a military and diplomatic victory, and that the Victory Monument was built to honor. The monument itself is a tall, tapering obelisk, surrounded by bronze figures representing the branches of the Thai military, rising above the circular intersection around which the traffic of a major Bangkok junction flows continuously. It is, from most angles, a handsome piece of civic sculpture, serious without being solemn, commemorative without being heavy. It gives the intersection a center, a point of orientation, a reason to be somewhere other than merely a place where roads cross. Today, the Victory Monument is perhaps best known to most Bangkok residents not as a historical monument but as a transit hub. The BTS Skytrain station at Victory Monument is one of the busiest on the network, and the area around the monument is a major gathering point for minivans and buses heading to destinations across the city and beyond. The history and the practicality coexist, as they do so often in Bangkok, without apparent tension. The bronze soldiers standing at the base of their obelisk while the commuters of the 21st century flow around them in their hundreds of thousands, both the memory and the present moment occupying the same space, layered one upon the other, as all of Bangkok's history is layered. And finally, woven through all of this history and all of these monuments and all of these stories of kings and revolutionaries and mysterious disappearances and national reinventions, there is a day, a specific day in the calendar that gathers all of the feeling that Thai people have for their monarchy into a single annual moment of shared acknowledgement and celebration. December the 5th. The birthday of His Majesty King Bhumibol Adulyadej, King Rama IX, who reigned from 1946 until his death in 2016, making his the longest reign of any monarch in Thai history and one of the longest of any monarch in the history of the world. 70 years on the throne. 70 years during which Thailand transformed itself from a predominantly agricultural country into one of the more dynamic economies in Southeast Asia, during which Bangkok grew from a city of manageable scale into a megacity of 11 million people, during which the world changed beyond recognition around a figure who remained, for the Thai people, a constant. A presence of quiet dignity and personal integrity that was, in the turbulent and uncertain decades of the 20th century, anchor. King Bhumibol was deeply loved. Not in the performative way that public figures are sometimes loved at a distance, but with a personal quality of affection and loyalty that extended across generations and social classes and regions of the country. He traveled throughout Thailand over his long reign, visiting even the most remote and impoverished communities, working on development projects, engaging with the realities of Thai life in ways that went far beyond the ceremonial demands of his position. He was a jazz musician, a painter, a sailor, a photographer, a man of genuine personal culture and genuine personal curiosity who brought to the throne not just the weight of tradition but the warmth of a real human being. December the 5th, his birthday, became, during his lifetime, one of the most significant holidays in the Thai calendar. Father's Day in Thailand is celebrated on December the 5th, the day honoring both the king and the principle of fatherhood that he embodied for the nation. The streets of Bangkok on that day were decorated with lights and with portraits of the king. Ceremonies were held. Families gathered. The country paused and turned its collective attention toward the person who, for so many Thais, represented something more than a head of state, represented continuity, dignity, care, and the ongoing possibility of a Thailand that lived up to the best of itself. King Bhumibol passed away on October the 13th, 2016, after a long illness, and the grief that swept through Thailand at his death was of a depth and a sincerity that moved the watching world. Bangkok went into mourning for a year, the city draped in black and white, the spirit of celebration suspended, a country sitting with the loss of someone it had loved for a very long time. December the 5th remains a national holiday. The memory it holds is now layered. The birthday of a king who is no longer there, the Father's Day of a nation that continues to honor the idea and the person that the day embodies. In Bangkok on December the 5th, you can still feel it, the quality of a day that has been given over to something larger than the ordinary, to memory and to gratitude and to the particular kind of love that a people feels for someone who held their history in trust and handed it forward with care. And so we have moved together tonight through the weight of Bangkok's history, through the Grand Palace beside the river and the 150 years of royal residence within its walls, through the law that protects the royal dignity and the currency that carries the royal face and the care required even in the moment of stopping a rolling coin, through the occupation of the Second World War and the dignified, difficult navigation of impossible choices, through the name change, Siam becoming Thailand, the land of the free choosing its own name for itself, through Jim Thompson and his silk and his beautiful houses and his mystery that has no resolution, only questions, through the Democracy Monument and the 1932 revolution that ended absolute monarchy, through the Victory Monument and its layering of history and daily life, and through December the 5th and the love of a people for a king who held their country's story in trust for 70 years. History is not, in Bangkok, something that happened and is over. It is something that continues, in the laws and the ceremonies and the monuments and the faces on the currency and the anthem played in the cinemas and the spirit houses tended every morning and the long extraordinary name of the city itself. It is alive in the city's present as surely as the Chao Phraya is alive, moving through the present moment with all of the past it has gathered flowing within it, quiet and deep and continuous. Let all of that settle now. Let the palaces soften in your mind into something more like light than architecture. Let the monuments become gentle shapes in the distance of a dream. Let the river carry all of it, the history and the mystery and the grief and the love and the long, unbroken thread of a culture that has held itself together through everything that history has brought, carry it all downstream in the darkness, slowly, without effort, the way rivers have always carried the stories of the cities they flow through. You are resting in the city of angels. 240 years of history are keeping their quiet watch around you. The Grand Palace is lit by the night sky. The Chao Phraya is moving, and the long, beautiful, complicated, extraordinary story of Bangkok continues, as it always has, even in the sleeping hours. Let go now. The history is held. The river remembers, and you are drifting gently and completely toward the deep and restful dark of sleep. Everything is well. Everything is held. Sleep now. Lifestyle and quirks. There is a moment near the end of a long and beautiful journey when something shifts. The facts and the names and the dates and the distances, all the things that can be written down and measured and recorded, begin to recede slightly like the outlines of a coastline seen from a departing ship. They are still there. They are still true. But they are no longer the main thing. The main thing now is something harder to name, something more felt than known. The accumulated impression of a place, Not what it is made of, or how tall its buildings are, or what its history contains, but what it feels like to be inside it. What quality the air carries. What the light does in the morning. How the people move through the world, and what they believe and what they laugh at and what they love. That is what we are going to spend this final time together with. Not the facts of Bangkok's lifestyle, though we will visit those gently, but the feeling of it, the particular, irreducible, untranslatable quality of a city that has been shaped not just by its history and its geography and its commerce, but by its people, by the 11 million human beings who wake up every morning in this extraordinary place and go about the business of living in it, each one carrying within them a version of Bangkok that no guidebook could ever fully capture. This is our last journey together tonight. Let it be the longest exhale. Let it be the soft landing after everything that has come before. Let Bangkok reveal itself, finally, not as a collection of facts but as a feeling, a fragrance, a quality of light. Find your stillness. You are already very close to sleep. Let the words carry you the rest of the way. Above the city, rising into the hazy Bangkok sky with a confidence and a height that makes everything around it seem, briefly, small, there is a building that holds the distinction of being the tallest in Bangkok. The Magnolia's waterfront residences stands at 318 meters. Nearly a third of a kilometer of glass and steel and concrete reaching straight up from the bank of the Chao Phraya River, its upper floors offering views that extend, on the clearest days, across the entire spread of the city to the horizon in every direction. From up there, Bangkok resolves into something that the street never quite reveals, the full scale of it, the full extent of the human enterprise that has been under construction here since 1782, spreading outward from the original royal compound beside the river in every direction, filling the delta, covering the old rice paddies and the mango orchards and the canal banks with the dense, layered, endlessly varied texture of a city that has been growing for more than 2 centuries without any particular intention of stopping. 318 meters. And yet even at that height, even looking down at the city from above the clouds that sometimes drift through the middle levels of Bangkok's tallest towers, what you are looking at is still, fundamentally, the same city that King Rama I looked out over from the walls of the Grand Palace in 1782. The same river, the same sky, the same quality of light, different in almost every particular, identical in its essential nature. Not far from the river, there is another building that catches the eye in a different way, not through sheer height, but through sheer unexpectedness of form. A building that makes you stop and look again and then perhaps laugh a little, because it is doing something so unusual and so deliberate that the first response is often simple, uncomplicated delight. The Mahanakan building is covered in what appears, from a distance, to be a pattern of missing pieces. As if someone had been building a perfectly conventional glass tower and then, partway through, decided to remove sections of the exterior, square and rectangular chunks of the facade, at different heights and different positions, seemingly at random, creating a surface that looks simultaneously like a completed building and a building mid-construction. Like a tower made of Lego bricks from which someone has been removing pieces. Like a pixelated image of a skyscraper, somewhere in the process of being resolved into clarity. It is entirely deliberate, of course. The architectural intention was to create a building that referenced the aesthetics of the digital world, of pixels and screens and the particular visual language of an age in which images are made of discrete, countable units rather than continuous surfaces. In a city that has always been willing to absorb and reflect the world around it, a skyscraper that wears the aesthetics of the digital age on its exterior feels, in retrospect, entirely appropriate. Bangkok has always been a city that looks at the world and says yes, and then does something entirely its own with what it has taken in. And from the heights of those towers, from the terraces and the rooftops of Bangkok's tallest buildings, there is an experience available that has made this city famous among a particular kind of traveler. The kind of traveler who likes their view horizontal and their drink cold and the city spread below them like a gift, glittering under the tropical stars. Bangkok has more world-class rooftop bars than almost any other city on earth. This is a distinction that sounds, at first, more playful than meaningful, a record in the category of luxury rather than history. But spend an evening on one of Bangkok's great rooftops, as the sun goes down over the Chao Phraya and the sky turns from gold to deep orange to a blue so dark it borders on violet, as the lights of the city come on one by one across the entire visible horizon and the river below catches and holds and shatters them in long, shifting lines. As the warm evening air carries the sounds of the city up to where you are standing 30 or 40 floors above it all, and you understand that this is not merely a luxury. It is an experience of a city that is very difficult to replicate anywhere else. Among the most famous of these elevated spaces is the Sky Bar at the Lebu Estate Tower, a bar that achieved a specific, somewhat unexpected fame when it appeared in The Hangover Part 2, the film that brought Bangkok to the attention of a generation of international moviegoers and left, in many of them, a lingering curiosity about the real city that lay beneath the film's heightened version of it. The Sky Bar sits at the top of a golden dome above the hotel's tower, open to the sky on all sides, offering an unobstructed 360-degree view of Bangkok that is, in the right light, at the right time of evening, one of the more beautiful urban panoramas available to the human eye. From up there, the city looks like something that was planned, that was laid out with intention and intelligence and a vision of what it should be. From up there, the traffic and the noise and the heat and the complexity are invisible, and what remains is simply the light, thousands of points of warm light, spread across the darkness in every direction, each one representing a life, a story, a person who is somewhere in that city tonight, going about the ordinary business of being alive. Come down from the rooftops now. Come all the way down, past the glass lobbies and the air-conditioned interiors, past the taxi ranks and the tuk-tuk drivers and the motorbike taxi riders in their orange vests, and follow the flow of a very particular kind of traveler, young, backpack-laden, wide-eyed, arriving in Bangkok for the first time with a sense of adventure that the city will immediately and enthusiastically oblige, to a street that has been the epicenter of budget travel in Southeast Asia for decades. Khao San Road, the world-famous backpacker hub, a street, and more broadly a neighborhood, that has become so thoroughly identified with a particular mode of travel, young, independent, budget-conscious, curious, slightly chaotic, that its name is recognized by travelers everywhere, even those who have never visited Thailand. The name alone conjures something. The rows of ghost houses with their rooftop bars, the street food vendors working through the night, the stalls selling everything a traveler might need and many things they definitely do not, the music from every direction, the multilingual conversations, the sense of being in a place where the whole world has come to gather. Khao San Road is not Bangkok at its most traditionally Thai. It is Bangkok at its most internationally mongrel. a place that has grown up in response to the presence of travelers and that serves their particular needs and reflects their particular energy back at them. It is both entirely artificial and entirely genuine. Artificial because everything about it has been shaped by the market for a particular kind of visitor. Genuine because the people who go there, generation after generation, find in it something real, connection, adventure, the particular freedom of being very far from home with very little money and an open schedule and a city full of wonders at every door. Bangkok has always known how to welcome strangers, how to make space for the traveler, the trader, the outsider who arrives at its gates with nothing but curiosity and the willingness to engage. Khao San Road is the contemporary expression of that ancient hospitality. Louder and more neon-lit than its historical precedents, perhaps, but continuous with them in the essential thing. In a stadium that has stood in its neighborhood since 1945, under lights that illuminate a square of canvas and rope that represents one of the oldest and most refined combat traditions in the world, something happens on certain nights that has been happening in various forms in Thailand for centuries. Thai boxing, the ancient martial art of Thailand, a striking art that uses the fists and the elbows and the knees and the shins as weapons, combining them in combinations and sequences of extraordinary complexity and physical demand, performed by fighters who have trained for years and whose bodies are, in their own way, as finely made and as precisely designed for their purpose as the golden figures in the temples. Rajadamnern Stadium in Bangkok is one of the most historic venues for professional Muay Thai in the world, and on fight nights, the atmosphere inside it is unlike almost anything else available in the city. The Wai Kru Ram Muay, the pre-fight ritual in which each fighter pays respect to their teacher and their tradition through a sequence of movements performed in the ring before the fighting begins, is, in itself, worth seeing. It is slow and deliberate and deeply serious, a meditative sequence of gestures that connects the fighter, in that moment, to the lineage of teachers and practitioners who have come before them. It is a prayer. It is a centering. It is a drawing of breath before the intensity that follows. And then the fight begins. And the intensity is complete. Muay Thai is not merely athletic competition. It is a cultural practice that carries within it something of the same spirit as the temples and the spirit houses and the amulet market. A sense that what is being done here has significance beyond the physical, that the discipline and the skill and the willingness to test oneself are expressions of something deeper than mere sport. The fighters who compete at Rajadamnern are not simply athletes. They are the current representatives of a tradition that is hundreds of years old, carrying that tradition forward with their bodies, in the light of the ring, under the eyes of everyone watching. Bangkok is a city of many remarkable qualities, but one of the things it is perhaps most noted for in conversations about social culture is its visibility and its acceptance of the transgender community. The Kat Hui, sometimes referred to in English as ladyboys, a term that is used widely and without negative intention in Thailand, though individuals' preferences for how they are addressed vary, occupy a visible and largely accepted place in Bangkok's social landscape. They work in every sector of the city's life, in hospitality and entertainment and retail and the arts, in offices and on stages, in restaurants and in hotels. They are present throughout the city in a way that is unremarkable to the Bangkok resident, because the presence of gender diversity in Thai society is not new, not recent, not the product of a contemporary social movement, but something that has deep roots in Thai culture and that has been part of the fabric of Thai life for as long as anyone can trace. The acceptance is genuine, though not without its complexities. Thai culture, like all cultures, contains contradictions, and the acceptance of kathoey is not identical to a full and formal recognition of gender diversity in all its legal and social dimensions. But at the level of daily life, of the social texture of the city, Bangkok is a place where people are who they are with a degree of freedom and visibility that is striking to visitors from many parts of the world. It speaks to something broader about Bangkok's relationship with the variety of human experience. A city that has always absorbed, always made room, always found a way to hold within its enormous, complex, layered self a wider range of human life than most cities allow. Underneath everything that Bangkok is, the temples and the traffic and the food and the heat and the history and the rooftop bars and the Muay Thai and the floating markets, underneath all of it, there is a philosophy, a word that captures, in the Thai understanding of things, a fundamental principle of how life should be approached. Sanak. It means simply fun. To have fun. To enjoy. To find the pleasurable, the amusing, the light-hearted dimension of whatever you are doing, wherever you are, whatever the circumstances. But the English word fun does not quite capture what Sanak means in Thai, because Sanak is not merely an occasional state to be achieved on weekends or holidays. It is a continuous orientation, a way of being in the world that considers the presence or absence of Sanak to be a significant factor in the worth of any activity or any situation. Work without Sanak is work that needs improving. A gathering without Sanak is a gathering that has not yet found its rhythm. Even difficult things, in the Thai understanding, can be approached with Sanak, not by pretending they are easy or by ignoring their difficulty, but by maintaining, within the engagement with difficulty, a lightness of spirit that keeps the burden from becoming crushing. It is, when you sit with it for a moment, a rather profound way of orienting oneself toward existence. The insistence that life should contain joy, not as a luxury, not as something to be pursued after the serious business is done, but as a fundamental requirement, woven into the daily fabric of every activity and every interaction. The understanding that the quality of your experience matters, and that you have some responsibility to the quality of your own experience, and that allowing things to become joyless when they could be otherwise is a small failure of imagination. Bangkok is a city that lives Sanak. You can feel it in the food and the markets and the festivals and the Songkran water fights. You can feel it in the way the street food vendors joke with their regular customers and the way the tuk-tuk drivers negotiate a fare with a smile. You can feel it in the decoration of the taxis and the brightness of the temple ceremonies and the extraordinary abundance of the flower market in the small hours. Joy is not added to Bangkok. It is foundational. And there is a gesture that carries Sanak within it, a gesture of greeting that is one of the most beautiful and most human things Bangkok's culture offers to the world. The why. The hands come together, palms touching, fingers pointing upward, in a gesture that is part prayer and part bow and entirely its own thing. Not quite either, but something that contains the essence of both. The head inclines slightly forward. The eyes may close briefly, or they may hold the eyes of the person being greeted with a warmth and a directness that the gesture somehow enables rather than replaces. The whole thing takes perhaps 2 seconds. And in those 2 seconds, something passes between the people involved that a handshake, for all its Western robustness, cannot quite replicate. The why says, I see you. I acknowledge you. I respect you. I am, in this moment, not merely greeting you as one animal acknowledges another, but honoring something in you that deserves to be honored. The why has gradations. The height at which the hands are held and the depth of the bow that accompanies them communicate the level of respect being expressed. A lower bow, hands held higher, for elders and monks and those deserving the greatest deference. A more moderate version for equals and friends. Thai children learn the why from the time they are very small, and they learn its gradations too, learning, through the physical practice of the gesture, the social architecture of their culture. Who deserves what level of respect, and how that respect is expressed through the body, through the hands, through the inclination of the head. To receive a why from a Thai person, to have someone stop and bring their hands together and bow their heads slightly toward you, is to feel, in a way that is immediate and physical and impossible to entirely rationalize, that you have been genuinely seen. It is one of the simplest and one of the most powerful things Bangkok's culture does. Not all of Bangkok's remarkable features are alive and inhabited and full of the noise of human activity. Some of its most compelling presences are the opposite, silent, empty, standing in the middle of the city's density as monuments not to achievement but to interruption. The Sathorn Unique Tower is one of Bangkok's most arresting landmarks precisely because it is unfinished. A 49-story residential skyscraper that was under construction when the Asian financial crisis of 1997 brought the project, and the company behind it, to an abrupt halt. The workers left. The cranes fell silent. And the tower stood, incomplete, empty, its raw concrete floors open to the sky, its interiors gradually being reclaimed by the particular slow forces that reclaim abandoned human spaces everywhere. The weather, the plants, the birds, the quiet. It has been standing abandoned for more than a quarter century now. It has become, in Bangkok's urban mythology, a ghost tower, a place with a reputation for being haunted, explored by urban adventurers drawn to the combination of height and emptiness and the specific atmosphere of a space that was built for human habitation but has never been inhabited. 49 floors of empty rooms above the busy streets of Bangkok, each floor offering an increasingly vertiginous view of the city below. The whole structure an accidental monument to the interrupted ambitions of 1997. There is a kind of beauty in the Sathorn Unique Tower, if you allow yourself to see it. The beauty of the incomplete. The reminder that not everything that is begun is finished. That cities contain, alongside their monuments to achievement, their monuments to the plans that did not come to pass, and that these abandoned spaces have their own dignity, their own particular quality of presence, their own story to tell about the human relationship with time and ambition and the unpredictability of the world. Bangkok is a city of color, of temple gold and taxi pink and marigold orange and the deep green of the klongs. But within that already vivid palette, the people of Bangkok add their own personal notes of color, in a practice that is at once deeply practical and deeply meaningful. Many Thais observe the tradition of lucky colors, specific colors associated with specific days of the week, each day governed by a planetary deity whose color brings good fortune to those who wear it. Monday is yellow, Tuesday is pink, Wednesday is green, Thursday is orange, Friday is blue, Saturday is purple, Sunday is red. King Bhumibol was born on a Monday, which is why yellow became so strongly associated with reverence for him during his lifetime. The sea of yellow shirts worn on his birthday and on other days of royal significance was not merely a matter of coordinated celebration, but an expression of this ancient color tradition brought into the living present as an act of love and loyalty. Bangkok residents who observe this tradition do so with varying degrees of strictness. Some choose their outfit each morning with careful reference to the day's lucky color. Others keep it more loosely in mind, reaching for the yellow shirt on a Monday when they have an important meeting, wearing their blue on a Friday when they want things to go smoothly. The tradition sits, as so many things sit in Bangkok, at the intersection of the ancient and the casual, a system of meaning that is thousands of years old, practiced today with the relaxed familiarity of people who have always known it and find it simply part of the texture of daily life. One of the most endearing and most telling customs of Bangkok's social culture is the tradition of nicknames. Almost every Thai person in Bangkok, and throughout Thailand more broadly, has a nickname. And these are not the diminutives or abbreviations of formal names that serve as nicknames in many Western cultures. They are entirely separate names, given in early childhood and used throughout life by friends and family and colleagues and everyone outside the most formal contexts. The nicknames are short, almost always 1 or 2 syllables. And they are often wonderfully unexpected. Thai nicknames can be almost anything: the names of animals, foods, colors, foreign words that caught a parent's fancy, words that describe a characteristic noticed in the child at birth or in early infancy. A person might be called Moo, which means pig, or Nak, which means bird, or golf, or bank, or mild, or cream, or joy. A prime minister of Thailand was commonly known by his nickname throughout his career. The nickname culture exists partly because Thai formal names are often very long and very complicated, multi-syllable names of Sanskrit or Pali origin that carry significant meaning but are not convenient for daily use. The nickname cuts through all of that, providing something easy and warm and immediate for the people in your life to call you. It is a small, practical accommodation of the need for intimacy in a culture where intimacy is valued, where closeness and ease of connection are things that people actively cultivate. There is something rather lovely about a culture in which almost everyone goes through life answering to the name their family chose for them when they were very small, when they were new to the world, when the people who loved them looked at them and thought, "What small, simple, warm thing shall we call this person?" On the streets of Bangkok, in the alleys and the sois and the market lanes and the quiet residential streets behind the main roads, there is another population living alongside the 11 million human residents of the city. Visible everywhere, moving through the city with an unhurrying familiarity that speaks to generations of coexistence. The street dogs. Known in Bangkok as soy dogs, soy being the Thai word for the small side streets and alleys that thread through the city's neighborhoods, they are a permanent and widespread feature of Bangkok's streetscape. Not aggressive, generally. Not feral in the way that might be feared. Most of them have found an equilibrium with the human world around them, knowing where food is available, which restaurants and market stalls will share leftovers, which neighborhoods are safe and which to avoid, how to navigate the traffic of a busy street with the careful attention of animals that have learned the rules of this particular environment. Many of Bangkok's soy dogs are cared for by the local residents of the areas they inhabit. The woman who runs the noodle stall feeds the dogs that sleep near her cart each morning. The family in the shophouse leaves food and water outside their door for the dogs that have made their stretch of pavement their home. The monks at the local temple extend their care for living beings to include the dogs that sleep in the shade of the temple walls. It is an informal, distributed, entirely genuine network of care, not organized by any authority, not managed by any institution, simply the natural expression of a culture that has a deep instinct toward the well-being of the living things it shares its space with. The soy dogs are part of Bangkok. They have always been part of Bangkok. They are not a problem to be solved, but a presence to be acknowledged, another thread in the vast, complex, living tapestry of the city's daily life. Bangkok has grown, in the past 2 decades, into one of the world's most significant hubs for medical tourism. The combination of internationally trained doctors, high-quality hospitals, and costs that are dramatically lower than equivalent care in the United States or Western Europe has made the city a destination for people seeking everything from complex surgeries to cosmetic procedures. The medical tourism economy has brought to Bangkok a sophisticated infrastructure of international standard healthcare, hospitals that would not look out of place in any major Western city, with the technological equipment and the clinical protocols and the multilingual staff needed to serve an international patient population. This infrastructure exists alongside the traditional Thai healthcare system, creating a city in which extremely high-end medical care and deeply traditional approaches to health and healing, the massage tradition of Wat Pho, the herbal medicine of the traditional apothecaries, the practices that have been maintained for centuries, coexist within the same urban space. Bangkok also consistently ranks among the top cities in the world for digital nomads, those contemporary travelers who have found, through the revolution in remote work, the ability to live and work from anywhere with a reliable internet connection, and who have gravitated to Bangkok for its combination of low cost of living, extraordinary food, cultural richness, and the particular energy of a city that is large enough to offer everything but small enough, in its neighborhoods, to feel like home. In November, when the rains of the monsoon season have passed and the air has cleared and the temperature has moderated and Bangkok exists in one of its most beautiful and most gentle periods, a festival comes that is perhaps the most visually extraordinary of all the many extraordinary things that happen in this city's calendar. Loy Krathong. On the evening of the full moon in November, Bangkok goes to the water, to the Chao Phraya, to the Klongs, to any body of water that the city contains, carrying small, handcrafted floating baskets. The Krathong. These baskets are made of banana leaves and flowers and incense sticks and a candle, assembled with care into a small, circular floating platform that is both an offering and a vessel. Into the Krathong go the worries of the year, the grudges and the regrets and the difficulties, released symbolically into the water, given away to the current, let go. And then the Krathong is placed on the water and set loose. The candle is lit, and it floats away. On Loy Krathong evening, the Chao Phraya carries thousands of these small, candlelit baskets on its dark surface, thousands of small flames, bobbing gently on the current, moving downstream toward the sea, each one the physical expression of someone's act of release, someone's hope for the coming year, someone's conversation with the water that has been the lifeblood of this city since before the city existed. From the bridges and the riverside promenades, You can look out over the river and see them, a galaxy of small lights on the water, stretching as far as the eye can follow the river's curve, the whole surface of the Chao Phraya glowing with the collective intention of the city's millions. It is, by any measure, one of the most beautiful things that human beings do. The making of a small, fragile, flower-covered boat, setting a candle in it, placing it on the water, and watching it go, the simplest possible gesture, and yet one that contains within it everything that people have always wanted to say to the forces larger than themselves that shape their lives. I was here. I release what was heavy. I begin again. Take this light. And finally, the thing that Bangkok is most known for, most associated with, most celebrated for in the imagination of the world. Not its temples or its food or its canals or its traffic or its heat, but something harder to photograph and easier to feel. The smile. Thailand is called the land of smiles, and Bangkok wears that name more visibly than anywhere else in the country, because Bangkok is where the most people are, the most variety of people, the most occasions for the encounter between strangers that produces, in this culture, the particular warmth of a Thai smile. And yet, as people who know Bangkok well will tell you, the smile is not a single thing. It is not one expression wearing different faces. It is, in Thai culture, a nuanced and sophisticated vocabulary, a form of communication that carries more information than it might first appear. There are smiles that mean pleasure, and smiles that mean politeness, and smiles that acknowledge an awkward situation and defuse it without confrontation, and smiles that express the deepest affection, and smiles that mean the opposite of what they appear to mean on the surface, and smiles that are given to strangers simply because the giving of a smile to a stranger is, in this culture, considered a basic act of human generosity that costs nothing and means something. To be smiled at by a Bangkok resident, genuinely, warmly, with the particular quality of attention that a real Thai smile carries, is to feel, in a way that is immediate and physical and impossible to entirely rationalize, that you are welcome. That your presence in this place is not merely tolerated but genuinely appreciated. That the space you are in is one in which human beings are, as a basic operating principle, glad to be in each other's company. This is, perhaps, the deepest fact about Bangkok. Not the length of its name or the height of its buildings or the heat of its climate or the number of its temples. But this, that the city, in its daily life, in the countless small encounters between strangers that constitute the texture of urban existence, tends toward welcome, tends toward warmth, tends toward the smile that says, "You are here, and that is good, and whatever you bring with you to this place, there is room for it, and for you in the city of angels." And now we have arrived. Not at the end of Bangkok's story. That story has no end. It is still being written today and tomorrow and every day that the Chao Phraya keeps flowing. But at the end of our time with it tonight, our long, slow, gentle drift through everything that this city is and has been and is still becoming, we have moved together through the longest name in the world, and the sacred temples with their gold and their jade and their broken porcelain. Through the street food and the floating markets and the durian band from the metro and the Red Bull that began in a Bangkok pharmacy. Through the weekend market of 15,000 stalls and the 24-hour flower market fragrant in the darkness and the gold shops of Yaourt glowing with their warm yellow light. Through the tuk-tuks and the pink taxis and the river boats on the Chao Phraya and the chaotic canal boats of the Seine Seep. Through the heat, the world's greatest sustained urban heat, and the sinking earth and the monsoon rains and the monitor lizards sleeping in the park. Through the Grand Palace and the Lace Majest Law and the face on the bot and the Japanese occupation and the name change from Siam to Thailand and the mystery of Jim Thompson and the Democracy Monument and the king who reigned for 70 years. Through the rooftop bars and the ghost tower and the Muay Thai stadium and the philosophy of Sanak and the beauty of the Y and the soy dogs sleeping in the evening heat and the candlelit baskets floating downstream on the Chao Phraya on a November full moon. And through the smile. The Bangkok smile, with all its gradations and its warmth and its ancient social intelligence, extended to strangers every day in a city of 11 million people who have, across more than 200 years of living together in this extraordinary place, worked out their own way of being human beings in the world. Bangkok, the city of angels. We leave it now gently, the way you leave a dream that has been particularly good, not rushing out of it, not marking a clear moment of departure, but simply allowing it to soften and recede as the deeper layers of sleep rise to meet you. The gold of the temples becomes warm light behind closed eyes. The sound of the river becomes the sound of breath, slow and even. The smell of jasmine from the spirit house becomes the smell of the night air, cool and quiet and absolutely still. You have traveled a long way tonight. You have carried a whole city in your mind, in all its color and its noise and its beauty and its history, and now you can set it down. Gently, completely, with gratitude for everything it offered you. The city of angels is keeping watch. The Chao Phraya is moving in the darkness. 400 temples are standing in the warm night, their spires touching a sky full of stars. And 11 million people are asleep, just as you are asleep, dreaming their Bangkok dreams. And you are among them now, resting, completely at peace. This is where we leave you, right here, in the soft, warm, golden, river-scented darkness of the city of angels. Sleep deeply. Sleep completely. Sleep well. Good night.